Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Government. Okay, and today we'll conclude our study on the structures of government. We have looked at the unitary structure of government, we have looked at the federal structure, and today we're going to be looking at the confederal structure. Confederal. Okay, the one we call what confederation what structure. Structure of government. Okay, we're abbreviating the government there. All right, so do not forget that these tutorials or these episodes that are brought to you courtesy of the O3 schools application. All right, if you have made a decision never to write JAMB twice, or you have been writing before and you want this to be your very last JAMB examination, all right, if you want to ace your JAMB, score 300 plus, right, then this is the right app to get. Okay, go to Play Store, App Store, or it's even available for your computer systems. Okay, you can message this phone number on WhatsApp, get the app. Okay, prepare yourself adequately. All right, nothing is missing out on the application. Video lessons, everything. We'll talk about the app in a moment. Let us see a question. This is a 2011 question, number 9. This is from the JAMB application. All right, and of course, this one is talking about related to the Confederal system. Okay, we use the question search feature on the application to search for question on Confederal system or structure, and everything that resembles Confederal came out for us to answer. Okay, so after we have learned, now we'll answer all of the questions, and then you see how confident you have become. All right, now let us see the question. It says the major weakness of Confederation is A, says lack of local independence. B, says lack of common currency. C, says the over concentration of authority. D, says the tendency towards secession. All right, so come back to this question and many more at the end of the class, and not before, because we believe that we should teach you first and you should know. You cannot give what you don't have. Many of you, the reason why you don't do well in your JAMB exam, all right, is because what you don't know first. All right, you don't, nothing there here, okay, but you want to answer a question. How? As how now? Okay, so please, you must learn first. Give yourself to study. That is why the O3 schools application is the best application for your JAMB or for your WAEC preparation. All right, it has everything you need to succeed. All the past questions for all the subjects are there. All right, then we have a classroom, which is very important, which should be the first thing you should do. Visit the classroom. The latest syllabus is there, lecture notes are there, video lessons are there, flashcards are there. You can create a study plan. All right, create a study plan or a timetable to finish your syllabus on time. You can finish your syllabus within even within 1 month, 2 months, okay, or 3 months, as much as you have time. All right, that is what the classroom is built for. All right, also question search feature, you can search for question on any topic, and all the question that JAMB has said or WAEC has said that resemble that topic will come out to answer. What is more, also educational games are there to improve your speed, okay, of answering questions, to increase your reasoning. All right, then what's more, the UTME challenge there, you compete with your mates that are writing JAMB or WAEC in real time. In real time, okay, 10 o'clock every Saturday morning, you compete, you join the competition, compete with them, your result will be released the same time. All right, and then you'll be seeing how prepared you are for the exam. All right, so please do not joke with the application. Okay, it's in fact a final full stop, all right, to all your JAMB worries or your WAEC worries. Okay, and of course there's an activation fee. Ensure you activate your application. All right, nobody is scamming you. Okay, there's a small activation fee, okay, that is on the app. The correct price is on the application. Click on activate, and once you click on activate, at the top you find buy activation key. Once you click on it, you'll see the correct amount for activation there. Pay it. Okay, many of you don't know that success requires sacrifice. Pay is very small. Okay, it's less than the price of rice and chicken in a good restaurant. All right, if that will guarantee your success, do it with your full chest. So Confederal structure of government. Okay, now we're going to talk about something called loose union. Okay, it's a term, all right, a political term called loose union. We're going to be using it well as it relates to as refers to Confederal structure of government. Okay, because in Confederal structure, coming together of many independent states will come together, and then they will now form a loose union. Okay, they'll form this loose union. They'll form a central government that is weak. They form a weak central government. You have a weak central government. This is what happens in Confederal structure of government. Okay, in the Confederal structure of government, many countries will come together. Right? They will now, these countries that are independent, they have their own security, they have their own politicians, they have their own everything, they have their own resources and so on and so forth. They are independent on their own, but they will come together to now form what? A central government. Okay, they'll form a weak central government that is weak. That's what we call confederal structure. Okay, so let me put something down. I said that a confederal system is when many independent countries come together. Countries come together to form what we call what? This loose union. Okay, to form what? A loose union. Okay, but each country gets to what? Keep most of its what? Power. Each of the countries that are in this confederal system keep what? Most of what? Of their power. All right, but each country, right? Okay, keeps most of its powers. Okay, so let us get this one after the other. Okay, a federal system. Okay, a confederal system is a system where what? Many independent what? Countries come together. Many independent countries that have their own security, that have their own forces, that have their own politicians, they have their own land, they have their own everything. Okay, just like Nigeria now can form what? Confederal war with Ghana. Okay, Ghana is an independent country, Nigeria is an independent country. Okay, maybe you say Egypt, independent. They will all come together like that. Okay, they will now form a confederation. Just see it like maybe many of you, if you see many schools can come together. Okay, let's say schools in your locality, they will now come together. Now say they now have what? School association. Okay, or they have teachers association. Okay, or they have what? Association where schools. You say that you see your principal saying he's going for one meeting. Okay, there's the schools association. Those that have schools. Okay, an association that houses all the schools. Okay, if you have a school, come and join with this meeting. Okay, they have their own rules. That association, they have their own rules. But the school itself has its own independent rule. Let's say we have what? The association. This is the association. Okay, let's say we now have 20 schools in this what? Association. Okay, all right, all the principals usually attend this association meeting of what? Of school owners. Okay, association of school owners in so and so locality. Okay, so now there are 20 schools in this association. The association has rules that are guiding them. Maybe they'll say do not come late. Okay, maybe they'll say contribution. Okay, or for the head of maybe they'll be doing small contribution. They will have small rules that are guiding them. Those rules that are guiding this association does not mean that what is affecting what the schools itself. The schools, these 20 schools, they are all independent. They are all independent. They have their own teachers. Okay, are you there? They have their own teachers. They have their own classes. They have their own students, and so on and so forth. Okay, but they have an association. They come together for what? For usually what? For some particular what purposes. Okay, either to share information, either to improve the what quality of education. Okay, maybe to tell themselves new techniques. Okay, in advancing and teaching students, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is what a confederal system. Okay, that's how we liken a confederal system. It's a system where many independent countries come together to form a loose union. Okay, but each country keeps most of its what? Power. Okay, that's a confederal what? System. Okay, and of course, an example is what? An example of a confederal system is what? Is Senegambia. Okay, Senegambia. Senegambia is what? It's a union. Okay, of what? Of Senegal, a country, and Gambia. Okay, now Senegal and Gambia, they are two countries that are close to each other that they are almost inside each other. Okay, but they are independent too. But you have Senegal inside Gambia, Gambia inside Senegal. So they form what? A union from in the year 1982 to 1989. Okay, they form a confederal system. Okay, they form a confederal system or a confederal structure, or they form a confederation. Okay, from the year 1982 to 1989. Okay, this confederation was formed basically for what? For security and defense. Okay, all right, for what? For ease of movement of what? Of goods. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so because they are so close to each other, okay, they can what? Form a confederation to help each other in terms of security and defense, all right? For ease of, for economic what purposes, for economic cooperation also. They were also there for economic cooperation. Okay, so Senegambia is it's an example of confederalism. Okay, it's an example of a confederation. Okay, apart from Senegambia, we also have the old European structure. Okay, the European Economic Community. Okay, that was formed in the year 1957. European, you call it the EEC. Okay, yeah, European Economic Community. Okay, this EEC, okay, this is the old European structure. The old, we call them the old European. Before now have this new EU now that has many countries. Okay, this old European structure only contains 6 European countries, only 6 of them. Okay, one of them is Germany. Okay, Luxembourg was there. Italy was there. France was there. Okay, which other country? Netherlands was there. All right, so those were the countries that formed the old European old European structure. Okay, they were there for what? For economic purposes. All right, so that they can be able to travel from goods can be moved easily from one place to another. Okay, for for security, for trade. Okay, for economic cooperation and so on and so forth. Okay, so they came together to form a confederalism. All right, and of course you see that each of these countries, okay, in this old European community or this old European structure, they are independent countries. For example, I mentioned France, right? France was there, Germany was there, okay? Italy was there, Netherlands was there. How about Luxembourg? Okay, it was also there, all right? The last country, there are 6. There were 6, okay? This old European community, okay, or this old European structure, they were there for economic purposes, okay? Old European structure, they were there for economic purposes, okay? For For economic purposes, for ease of movement of goods, okay, from one place to another, and so on and so forth, for cooperation between the member states, okay? Now, then in the current EU now that we have, the European Union that we have now, okay, this one started in 1957. This one was formed in 1957, this EEC, European Economic Community, it was formed in 1957. All right, but in 1973, other countries started joining. Countries like Spain started joining, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, among these, also Belgium was among these. Belgium, okay, is the last country that I was trying to remember. Okay, so other countries started joining in 1973. In 1973, other countries started joining the EU. Okay, so other years also subsequently they now formed. That's what now formed the EU that we have today. Okay, the European Union. Okay, so they come together for for economic purposes. All right. Then also another example we have of confederalism, right, is the Confederal States of America. Okay, Confederal States of America. Let's see them. Let's see that. Okay, Confederal States of America. Okay, this were states in America. There were about 11 southern states in America. Southern states in America that broke away. They broke away from US. Okay, they said they don't want to be part of US again. Okay, they now form a confederalism. Okay, this happened in the year 1861. Okay, and it lasted up to 1865. Okay, during the American Civil War. All right, so they broke away from United States like Louisiana, okay, Arkansas, and so on and so forth. They broke away. 11 southern states broke away. They now formed their own confederalism. Okay, they now had a president, Jarvis. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is also an example of a confederalism. Also, we also have Switzerland. Okay, the old one, or the old Switzerland. Okay, also is an example of confederalism. Okay, all of these are examples. Senegambia, the old European structure, which is the European Economic Community. Okay, Confederal States of America, Switzerland. All of these are examples of confederalism. Okay, you may see them, you may meet them in your exam question. So please ensure you pay full attention and take note of them. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Okay. So now let us now look at features. What are the features? What do we see in what? In confederalism. That makes us to say this is confederalism in action. Okay? So now, please, before we talk about that, we have discovered that many of you do not support our efforts here. You don't like our video, you don't subscribe to our channel, okay? You don't share, you don't copy the link and share. You don't tell people about our application. That is very, very bad, okay? Let someone pass because of you. Just like you say, as Christian now, you say you're winning souls for Christ, okay? Win souls for all three schools, okay? Let someone pass because of you, all right? Someone one day will say, thank God for this, my friend that introduced me to this app. That was why I was able to succeed. Okay, thank God for this, my friend that introduced me to these tutorials that made me to know what I'm doing and then succeed. Okay, have your own mansion, okay, filled with people that you have assisted. Okay, information is power. Many people are not aware that this channel is there. That's why we say leave everything you're doing and like the video. Click on the subscribe button if you're watching from YouTube. Click on the follow button on TikTok or Facebook or wherever you're watching for. Copy the link of these videos. Copy this particular link and share it to your classmates or your friends who are preparing for external examinations. Okay, so let us look at features of confederalism. Features. All right, so what are the features, okay, of what? Of confederalism, okay? Number one, we have said that the central authority is weak. The central government, that is the confederal government itself, is usually very, very weak, okay? This is because, right, they cannot just make decisions without the approval of what? Of the member states or of what? Of the countries that are forming what? That agreement, okay? So any decision that they are making has to be accepted by the member countries. If they don't accept, they have no say at all, okay? So the central government is what? Is weak. That is number one feature. So power belongs mainly, number one, can say power belongs mainly to the member states or the countries. All right, that is the central government has no say, okay? They don't have any power. They are usually very, very weak, okay? The central government is weak. Take note of that, okay? So power belongs mainly to the member states that are forming this confederalism. Are we together? Now, number two, the central or the confederal government has limited powers. Number two, the central or now called the confederal government, okay, has limited powers. Okay, so the central or confederal government can only do what the member states agree. If they no agree, they no fit do anything at all. Okay, so the member states, okay, we need to agree before what the confederal government can run. All right, so the central or confederal government has limited power. They only do what the member states agree. Are we together? That's why we say that the central or the confederal government has limited power. They cannot overdo. They can only do within the limit of what the member states agree. Now, number three, states keep their independence and sovereignty. The states that are in confederalism, states keep their independence and sovereignty, okay? In fact, some states can decide to withdraw from the union. Yes, that's what we call what? Secession. They can break away, okay? They can say they are no longer interested in the union, not be by force, okay? So once a state feels that, okay, they're no longer getting benefits of what they form the confederalism for, they can decide to break away. They can start to leave the union. They can start to leave the confederalism. Okay, are we together? So that's why we say that states, they keep their independence, they keep their sovereignty. All right, they keep their army, they keep their people, they keep their everything. All right, they are just there for what? Maybe a particular purpose, maybe for like defense, okay, maybe for like, maybe we'll soon see reasons why countries adopt confederalism soon, okay? So now, number four, laws made by the central authority. The laws that are made by the central authority must be approved by the states, okay? The laws, number four, the laws made by the central authority must be approved by the states. okay, by the states, okay, the states that are what in the confederalism, okay, if they do not agree to the laws that are made by the central authority, it will not work. Okay, so the laws that are made by the central authority must be approved by what? By the states, okay, by the countries in that confederalism. Okay, that's why we say that what that the confederal government has limited powers. The states, they keep their independence and sovereignty. Okay, so if they do not approve the laws, okay, the laws will not work, will not hold. Okay, so that is what number 4. Number 5, talk about what loose union. Loose union. Okay, the members of states, they can cooperate, okay, but the government cannot be controlling them. Okay, so the central government cannot control them. They can only decide to cooperate. Okay, they can decide to cooperate, but they cannot be controlled. All right, so that's why I say those members of what, of this union, of this confederalism, members, okay, they what, they cooperate, okay, but of course the members also, they control themselves. Now that's all number 5. And then number 6 is what, usually created through a treaty. The confederalism is usually created through what we call a treaty. Okay, treaty. Okay, so the treaty usually formed between what countries, like the old European Union. Okay, the old European structure. Okay, where we had the European Economic Community. Okay, it was formed through the Rome Treaty. Rome Treaty. Okay, please take note. Okay, so it was formed through the Rome Treaty. The treaty is like a formal agreement between 2 or more countries. Okay, they will agree that they don't want this country and this country, they will not be fighting. Okay, they can agree. Okay, this country and this country, they will help each other in terms of what? Defense. This country, that's what we call treaty. Treaty is a formal agreement. Okay, between 2 countries. Okay, that's what we call a treaty. Formal agreement between 2 countries. All right. So these are the features of what? Of confederalism. Power mainly belongs to the member states, okay, or the countries involved in the confederalism. Number 2, the central government or the confederal government, they have what we call limited power. They can only do what the member states say what they should do. States keep their independence and sovereignty. The laws made by the central authority must be approved by the states. Loose union, members cooperate, but the members control themselves. Okay, usually created through a treaty between the countries. Okay, these are all features of confederalism. Now, why do countries adopt confederalism? Why do they say, okay, let's do confederalism? Okay, let us see that next. Okay, please ensure you have liked, you have subscribed, you are sharing this video. Okay, tell somebody, tell your enemies, tell all of them about the O3 Schools app. Nobody deserves to fail. Nobody deserves to write JAMB exam or WAEC exam twice. Okay, go to Play Store, download the O3 Schools app immediately, and start preparing your way to success. Okay, all right. So let me say reason for adoption now. Reason for adoption. All right. So now, what are the reasons for adoption? Okay. Why do countries choose to be in a confederalism? Okay, number 1 is to protect their independence. Okay, to protect their independence. They do not want a strong central government. Okay, if a strong central government comes, that means their independence can be threatened. All right, so they do not want a strong central government. So the main reason why they adopt this, majorly one, is to protect their independence. So number one, to protect their independence. Okay, and then number 2 is to cooperate on limited things. Okay, limited things, not on some many reasons, just from few reasons, like trade, like diplomacy, like travel, like defense. Those are the major reasons why they go into a confederalism. Okay, number 2, to cooperate. Number 2, to cooperate on limited things. Okay, examples like what? Like e.g. now, like travel. And for example, I don't know if you have heard of Schengen visa. Schengen visa. Okay, if you have this Schengen visa, you can visit any country. Okay, as a traveler, actually as a Nigerian, and let me, for example, now me. Okay, I have a friend that has a Schengen visa. Okay, so he can visit any country in Europe. any country with this Schengen visa. All right. So long as he has a visa, he can travel from what's it called, Wales to Belgium to any country, to Spain, to Italy, okay, to Netherlands. He cannot be traveling the full Europe with this Schengen visa. Okay, so all of these they happen as a result of what? Of confederalism. Okay, countries come together, they agree. Okay, they agree on what? On this law to allow this thing to what? To open ways for their people to what? To move about easily. Okay, so they what is the reason why they form this adoption. Number two is to cooperate on some limited things. Okay, like what? Like travel, like defense. Okay, like trade. All right, diplomacy. All of these are the reasons why countries adopt confederalism. All right. Then now number three, to allow each country to keep their identity. To allow each country keep their identity, their culture, and laws. Okay, so they form this to allow what? Each country, so they can keep their identity. All right, keep your laws, keep your culture. You do not want to interfere with all of these. Okay, they only agree on some like we said, on some limited issues, like trade, like diplomacy, like travel, and so on and so forth. Okay, now number four, to avoid domination. Okay, to avoid domination by a bigger, or for example, a stronger region. All right. So this is another reason why they form a confederalism. All right, to avoid domination by a bigger or stronger region. Okay, it's another reason for what? For their formation of confederalism. All right. Then number five, for flexibility. For flexibility. Okay, so members can decide to leave. Okay, members can leave anytime they want. Okay, they can leave easily. Members of what? Confederalism. Members can leave. They can leave easily. Okay, so these are the reasons for the adoption of confederalism. Okay, to protect their independence. They do not want a strong central government. Okay, to overpower them. All right, to cooperate on limited issues like trade, like defense. Okay, like travel. All right, and then to allow each country to keep their identity, culture, and laws, to avoid domination by a bigger or stronger region, and for flexibility, that members can live easily. All right, now let us now see the advantages, merits of confederalism. Okay, all right, please ensure you are we are drawing close. Okay, after merits, let's see merit and demerits, okay, together, and then we are done with the class. Okay, please ensure you have downloaded the O3 Schools app. Ensure that you have copied the link of this video. You are sharing to your friends and loved ones. Copy the link. Okay, tell your friends about the O3 Schools app. All right, it will help you. If you are watching this video, you are lucky because this app will change your story. Okay, if you are looking for law, those of you that are looking for big courses, okay, in the arts, okay, theater, art, mass comm, law, all right, especially for competitive university that you need to score at least 300. Okay, for any of those courses. So, all right, so competition is very, very high now in the educational system. So please do not joke with it. Okay, get your 300 at once. Okay, and enjoy yourself. Now let us see merits. Merits. All right, so now what are the merits, okay, of confederal system? All right, so one very, very important advantage is, of course, the fact that the member states or the countries have to keep their that they keep their government, they keep their money, they keep their laws, okay, and so on and so forth. They keep their people, so they are very, very independent. All right, so that is one advantage of the confederal system. It's a merit, all right, because nobody has to now say, okay, change this your laws, okay, change this your culture, okay, or change this or change that, okay. So that is not obtainable in confederal system. So that's an advantage, all right. So one of the merits is that member states, they have maximum freedom. Number one, okay, let me put it this way because this way with demerits. Demerits, okay. So number one, I will say that member states have maximum freedom. Okay, so they get to keep their laws, they get to keep their money, they get to keep their government, they get to keep their people, and so on and so forth. Okay, they are free, they are fully independent. Okay, that is an advantage. Okay, now number two, it prevents dictatorship. Prevents dictatorship. dictatorship. Okay, so because of course the central authority is very weak, all right, so it prevents what dictatorship. So the central government cannot be commanding one country now. Do this. If you don't do this, do this, do this. You are weak, or guy. You cannot control. Okay, so it is the member state that will cooperate, that will organize themselves and cooperate with you, so that what they can meet what common interests. Okay, it's not you that will be commanding them. So it prevents what dictatorship. And also local needs are met easily. Number three, local needs are met easily. Okay, so like maybe they cannot concentrate on what the countries involved in this confederalism can concentrate on what? On local needs, okay, meeting the people's needs and so on and so forth. Then when that comes to what? Issues like what? Let's say trade, like defense, travel, all right? They make it easy for them through what? The benefit that they get from the confederalism that they joined. You understand now, okay? So local needs are what? Are met easily, okay, when it comes to what? A confederal system. Then number four, it encourages cooperation, okay? Encourages cooperation without full surrender. Okay, let me put this one here. Without full surrender of power. Okay, so it encourages what? Cooperation. The country, the member state, they are not fully surrendering their power. Okay, like we already said, they have what? Maximum freedom. So they keep their people, they keep their laws, they keep their money safe. All right, so they have what? Cooperation, full cooperation. It encourages of cooperation without what? Full surrendering of what? Of power. The members say they cooperate, okay, they control themselves, all right, but they do not fully surrender what? Power to what? To the central government. Okay, so for that reason, it's what is a huge advantage altogether. Then of course, number five, easy to manage. Easy to manage. Okay, so smaller or diverse states. Okay, it's very, very easy to what? To manage smaller, okay, smaller states, okay, because there will not be what? Too many issues, okay, too many issues will not be what? Arising, because people are getting to keep their culture, are getting to keep their laws, right? So it's very, very easy to manage, okay, and these countries on their own self, they are independent, okay, so for that reason, there will not be what? Serious what? Issues. Everyone keeps their identity. Everyone keeps their identity. All right. So for that singular reason, all right, they are very, very easy to manage. Okay. Now let's look at demerits. What are the disadvantages? What can we see? Okay, as disadvantages as pertains to what? Confederal system. Should I give you 1 second to think? Okay, tell me one in your mind. You are right. I don't know what you talk about, but you did very, very correct. So one of the disadvantages, number one, is what? The weak central government. The central government too weak. Okay? The weak central government. Okay, because it is these independent states that would agree on the laws, okay, for the central government. They are very, very weak. There's little to more that they can do. Okay, they can only just try and what? Apply their course. Okay, they cannot overstretch their hand. Okay, they cannot act as a dictator. They cannot command. Okay, they respect each other in that confederalism. Okay, to achieve what? Common interests. Okay, like trade, like defense, like travel. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, and each members in this confederalism, they are sovereign units. They are sovereign units. Okay, they are sovereign units. Okay, they are sovereign. They have their own powers. Okay, so they have what? A very weak central government. Now, what next? Number two, slow decision making. Slow decision making. Okay, anything we concern, say 2, 3, 5 people don't they gather, they deliberate on something. Okay, the matter will be long because they have varying views, they have varying ideas, okay, and they come from different places. All right, so they have to come to a reasonable compromise. All right, that will make all of them be at peace with each other. If not, decisions will be overstretched. Okay, there will be slow decision making. And then number 3, poor coordination. Poor coordination. Okay, so some states may refuse order from the center. So the center can give order, the state will refuse. Yes, they can decide to refuse, right? Because the central government is weak. We have a weak central government, okay? So there's poor coordination. Some states may refuse orders from what? From the center. It's very, very what? Possible. It happens a lot. Then number 4, we have ineffective defense. Ineffective what? Defense. Okay? It will be very, very difficult to form what? A very hard, a very, very strong military. Okay? A strong united military. Strong united what? Military. Okay? It will be difficult to what? To form a strong united what? Military. Okay? That will be overseeing, okay, those members in the Confederal state. It will be very difficult. Okay? Because of varying ideas and views also. Okay? So that is that. Ineffective what? Defense. Also what? A disadvantage, a demerit of Confederal system of government. All right? Then number 5, economic differences. Economic differences. All right, so it's very possible that some states are stronger than the others. Some states have more money than the others. Some states have more resources. Some states have more people. Some states have what? More money, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it can lead to what? Economic what? Differences. So those bigger states may decide to be ignoring the smaller ones. Okay, you decide to ignore the smaller and go and do your worst. What can you do? After all, I have this, I have that. What do you have? Okay, so all of this, there are issues that can arise in the Confederal world system. All right. So this way, I'm going to drop the curtain. Right. I've stated that each member in the Confederal system is what called a sovereign unit. Okay, and the union, okay, is usually very loose. Okay, it's very, very loose. It's weak. Okay, because member can decide to secede. Okay, secession can happen. They decide to break away. They decide to leave the union at will. All right. So for that singular reason, okay, it's they have a very weak central government. Now let us go to the questions on the application. Answer them so that we can gain more confidence. This is year 2011, number 9. 2011, number 9. It says that a major weakness of Confederation is lack of local independence. No, there's independence. B says lack of common currency. C says over concentration of authority. This is tendency towards secession. That is what one of the major weakness. Okay, members can decide to leave. There's freedom, too much freedom. Member states have maximum freedom. Okay, they have maximum freedom. Okay, so they can decide to leave the union. They can decide to break away. That is what's called secession there. All right, so correct answer there was option D. 2008, number 17 says, a major characteristics of Confederal states is that A says there is supremacy of the Constitution. B says the citizens often owe allegiance to the center. C says political stability is usually low. D says the center overrides the region. Center do not override the regions. Okay, so the correct answer there is A. There is supremacy of the Constitution. Okay, so they have a constitution that is guiding them. Okay, that is just basically all. Right. Apart from that, the citizens citizens don't really owe allegiance to the center like that. Okay, the fact is that they can decide to cooperate and control themselves. All right, they do not owe some form of allegiance. Then C, political stability is usually low. No, that's not it. They say the center overrides the region. The center does not have, the center is very weak. They cannot override the region. So the correct answer is option A. 2007, number 14. It says that the formation of Confederation is based primarily on hegemonic considerations. B says historical reasons. C says security consideration. D says geographical factors. Okay, mostly because of security considerations. Okay, travel, defense, security, and defense. Okay, they go together majorly because of security consideration. Option C is correct there. Then 2001, number 4. The central decision-making organ of a confederation is made up of A, technocrats appointed by the unit. B, politicians elected from the confederal constituencies. C, politicians nominated by governments of member states. This is representative of pressure group. Correct answer is option C. Okay, so politicians nominated by government of member states usually are formed of that confederation. All right, now let us see one more before I give you assignment. 1993, number 3. They say ultimate power in a confederal state is sovereignty. They say concentrated in the central government. God forbid. No. B say constitutionally divided between the center and the unit. No. C say exercised by the larger unit. No. D says vested in the constituent unit. Is vested in the constituent unit. Thank you for joining. Okay, let me give you one assignment. Okay. This is 2004 question. 2004, number 34. Please find this question, answer it, okay? And what? And tell me the answer in the comment section. In the next class, I'm going to be looking at system of what of government. I'll see you in that class. Thank you for joining in.